Welcome back for another deep dive. This time, I'm really excited to delve into this novel I just finished, The Music of the Spheres. It really gets you thinking. What if music isn't just something we enjoy, but like a key to unlocking the universe's secrets?
It's a pretty fascinating premise. The story revolves around this hidden musical code, supposedly written by Pythagoras himself.
Oh, wow, Pythagoras. And what's this about?
Well, the novel explores the potential of this code, the potential to do, well, everything from influencing human behavior to, actually healing the planet.
Okay, so the stakes are high then.
Yeah.
And who are the players in this story?
Well, we've got a pretty diverse cast of characters, each with their own connection to this code.
Like who? Anyone I might know?
Probably not, but there's Miko.
Miko?
He's an electronic musician, struggling, kind of washed up.
I've been there.
He stumbles across this melody that ends up being an ancient sand tribe song.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, lands him in a legal battle and sends him on this, global quest to clear his name.
So he's got to go all the way to the Kalahari Desert to clear his name.
Pretty much. And it's in the Kalahari where the novel really digs into the spiritual side of music. The Sand Tribe sees music as this bridge to the divine. It's central to their culture.
I could see how that would make for a really compelling setting, but it's not all like, peaceful desert vibes, right?
Oh, definitely not. There's this one scene where Miko teams up with Alicia, she's a lawyer, and they get caught in this crazy sandstorm.
Oh, no.
Barely make it out alive. You immediately get a sense that, this quest for the musical code, it's serious business.
High stakes, for sure. So we've got Miko searching for answers in the Kalahari. Anyone else on this quest?
We also have Peter, a neuromusicologist who's inherited his father's research. His father was obsessed with finding this music of the spheres.
Music of the Spheres. Now that sounds intriguing. So this Peter character, he's bringing the science into the story.
Exactly. He adds this layer of scientific intrigue, asking, is there a mathematical and scientific basis for, for music's power?
Neuromusicology. That's the study of how music affects the brain. Right.
You got it.
I've heard about studies using music to, treat certain illnesses. Is that kind of what Peter's doing?
Yeah, Peter's experimenting with music as a potential therapy for his brother. It raises questions about all the ways we could be using music to heal.
Like we're only scratching the surface, right?
Absolutely. But not everyone in this story is interested in healing. The novel also introduces the shadowy organization called the Academy.
Ooh, ominous.
Yeah, and they have this belief that they think they can control humanity through music.
Wait, control humanity?
How?
They even believe they're responsible for the deaths of certain musicians throughout history. Think of musicians whose music challenged the status quo, pushed boundaries.
Like they were silenced.
Yeah, the Academy saw their music as dangerous, subversive, and they took care of it.
That's a pretty chilling concept. So how much power does the novel give to music?
It doesn't shy away from exploring both the good and the bad. Okay, so the good is healing, connecting with the divine. What's the bad?
Control, manipulation. The Academy has this project, Project Dylan, where they're specifically trying to use music to sway political outcomes.
Wow, that's intense. Makes you think about the responsibility of musicians,
Totally. The novel constantly pushes us to think about, how much influence music actually has. It's not just entertainment, it's this force that shapes us, shapes societies.
So we've got Miko on a quest, Peter digging into his father's research, and this shadowy Academy working in the background. How do these storylines all start to come together?
That's where things get really interesting. Their paths start crossing in unexpected ways as they each follow the clues to the musical code.
Clues like what?
They're finding hidden messages in all sorts of places, like ancient manuscripts, crop circles, and even in the musical instruments they come across.
Wait, the instruments themselves hold clues. Now that's really cool. What kind of instruments are we talking about here?
It's a pretty unique collection. We've got a nanite, that Middle Eastern flute.
Okay, yeah.
There's a drum, an Egyptian harp, and even this unique Inuit instrument made from bone.
Wow. It sounds like the novel's building to something big with these instruments. They all come together to play this hidden musical code, right?
You'll have to keep listening to find out. But what I find fascinating is that each location they visit, Egypt, Greenland, Easter Island, each one seems to hold a piece of this puzzle. It's like this, like a global mystery slowly unfolding.
I'm definitely hooked. But we're going to have to wait for the next part of our deep dive to hear what happens next.
Okay, I'm totally hooked. We've got this musical code, maybe even capable of healing the planet. It's scattered across ancient sites and hidden in these instruments. So where does the novel take us next?
Well, each location they visit reveals a new layer of this connection between the musical code and, ancient wisdom. Like, for example, Miko and Alicia discover this hidden cave in the Kalahari.
Okay, what's in the cave?
It has this mural. It's a circular design with all these animals and the geometric shapes. Wait, circular designs?
Yeah.
Did you say something about circularity before? Like it was one of the novel's themes.
You're right. This mural, it's more than just a pretty picture. It kind of foreshadows this idea of circularity that pops up throughout the novel.
Okay, so like what? Literal circles or something deeper?
Both. I mean, you see these circular symbols all over the place, but it's also about, these cyclical patterns in history, in the universe, that kind of thing.
So this circular design in the cave, it's hinting at a connection between music, time, and the universe.
Exactly. It's like the novel is suggesting that music is this reflection of universal cycles and rhythms.
And these circular designs, they show up in other places too.
Oh, yeah. In Egypt, Miko and Alicia visit the Dendera Temple.
Dendera Temple, I think I've heard of that.
It was dedicated to Hathor, the Egyptian goddess of, well, a lot of things, but importantly, music.
So again, this link between music and the cosmos.
Right.
Like it's not just a modern idea.
Nope, not at all. The novel is full of these nods to ancient cultures, recognizing the significance of music.
It's kind of like the novel blends, real history with this fictional narrative. Makes you wonder what secrets are still out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of secrets, Peter's storyline takes a really interesting turn.
What happened?
He finds this hidden attic space in his father's house. It's designed like a microcosm of the universe.
A whole universe in the attic. Okay, that's got to be symbolic, right?
Oh, definitely. There are these sections dedicated to each of the 4 classical elements: earth, air, fire, and water.
And how do those tie into the musical code?
Well, each section, it also represents one of the 4 mathemata.
What?
The mathemata: arithmetic, geometry, astronomy, and you guessed it, music.
Oh, right. Pythagoras and all that.
Exactly. These were like the foundational disciplines in Pythagorean philosophy.
So Peter's father, this guy obsessed with the music of the spheres, he thought music was as important as math and science.
It seems that way, yeah. The novel suggests that all these disciplines, they're not separate, they're connected, and music is like this bridge between them.
Okay, so we've got ancient wisdom, music, science, spirituality. It's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see how it all fits together.
And it gets even more complex. Remember the 4 instruments Miko is gathering?
Yeah, the nani, the drum, and what were the others?
The Egyptian harp and that Inuit instrument made of bone? Well, each one might correspond to one of the 4 legacies described in that ancient scroll Peter inherited.
The scroll supposedly by Pythagoras.
That one, yeah.
Okay, so what are these legacies?
Well, the scroll talks about 4 legacies left for humanity: water, air, earth, and fire. Each one with a specific quality.
Like what?
Water represents creation, air unifies growth, earth symbolizes life, and fire embodies love.
Wow, that's pretty intense. So the instruments aren't just musical tools, they're like keys to unlocking something bigger.
Yeah, the novel suggests that music can tack into these essential elements, maybe even influence them.
Okay, but how do Miko and Alicia even figure all this out? It seems so complex.
Well, they end up in some pretty wild situations. In Indonesia, for instance, they get trapped in this underground chamber.
Oh no, how do they get out?
The way out, it's tied to this musical concept. The relationship between the notes do and sol, which has a ratio of 2/3.
So they use their musical knowledge to escape? That's cool.
It's even cooler than that. That same ratio, 2/3, it's also crucial in the geometry of the chamber itself.
So music and math, they're intertwined again.
Exactly. Music becomes this hidden language, a key to unlocking ancient secrets.
And they use music to escape danger again later. Right?
Oh, yeah. In
Yeah.
Greenland. They're following a clue from this young Inuit girl, and they get attacked by West Point.
West Point, the guy from the timber company?
Yeah, that's him. He's pretty determined to stop them.
So what happens? Does Miko fight him off with that bone instrument?
Not quite. Miko actually uses the ni, the Middle Eastern flute, to repel the helicopter attack.
Use it as a weapon.
Right. It's like this blend of realism and fantasy,
But it emphasizes this idea that music has real power.
Definitely. And then there's Easter Island with those giant statues.
Ah, Easter Island. I love those statues. What do they have to do with the musical code?
Well, Miko and Alicia discovered that the island's ancient inhabitants, they might have used music to move those massive statues.
What? You're telling me music moved those huge stone figures?
The novel doesn't say exactly how, but it suggests that music might have this power beyond what we currently understand. Like, it could even manipulate the physical world.
That's wild. Okay, so we've got ancient murals, secret chambers, music as a weapon, music moving giant statues. But what about the scroll? Does it actually reveal the code?
It's more like a riddle than a straightforward text, full of symbolism and hidden meanings that Peter's struggling to figure out. But there's one line that really stands out. It says, "Whoever controls these four earthly elements can unlock the power to speak with the gods."
Speak with the gods. Whoa. So is the novel saying that music can help us, like, talk to a higher power?
It definitely explores that possibility. It's like the musical code isn't just about a melody, it's about reaching a different level of consciousness.
Okay, things just got deep. So we've got the legacies, maybe represented by the instruments, and this hint that the code can let us talk to the gods. What's the end goal?
Well, remember, the Academy believes they can shape humanity with music. It seems like they're trying to control the code.
So it's a race against time. Miko, Alicia, and Peter have to figure out the code before the Academy uses it for who knows what.
Exactly. And it all comes to a head at the Great Pyramid in Egypt. That's where the musical code is finally revealed.
All right, so the Great Pyramid, the Academy's closing in, and this musical code, it could let us talk to the gods. That's a lot. What happens?
Well, the scene at the pyramid, it's incredible. Music, light, energy, all fused together. Miko, Alicia, Peter, and a bunch of musicians from all over the world. They're all there
To play the code.
to play the deciphered code, yeah.
Yeah.
Using all those instruments Miko collected.
So the instruments were important after all. What happens when they play it? Does the world, like, suddenly change?
The novel describes it as this massive wave of light and sound coming from the pyramid. Like the pyramid itself is amplifying the music, sending it out everywhere.
It's like those theories that the pyramids were built to, harness energy, right? Like they resonate at certain frequencies.
Maybe, yeah. The novel plays with those ideas, that there's this ancient knowledge, these technologies we don't fully understand.
So what about the people playing the code? Do they feel this energy?
Oh yeah, it's transformative. Like Miko finds his passion for music again. Alicia, she finds a new purpose. And Peter, he finally gets some closure about his dad.
So it's not just about saving the world, it's personal too.
Exactly. It's an inward journey too,
Yeah.
self-discovery, spiritual awakening, all that.
But the planet was playing the code enough to, like, heal it.
The novel, it doesn't give a definite answer. We see these good things happening, the sense of harmony, but there's also this feeling that it's not over, that the music, its power, it's still unfolding.
So it's not a simple happy ending.
No, but it's hopeful.
Yeah.
Like the possibilities are endless. We're just starting to understand what music can really do. Connect us, heal us, maybe even lead us to a better future.
It's a powerful message, especially now when things feel so chaotic. Like music could be this key to finding harmony in ourselves, in the world.
Absolutely. The novel really makes you think about how we see music. It's not just background noise. It's a force that can shape our lives, maybe even change the course of history.
It makes me think about all those musicians the novel mentioned. The ones who were silenced, whose music was seen as too dangerous.
Yeah.
What if their music really did hold the key to a better world? And the Academy, they wanted to keep that power for themselves.
That's a chilling thought. It makes you question who gets to decide what we hear, what music is shared, and how it's used.
So, the music of the spheres, it's more than just an adventure, right? It's about the power of music, the good and the bad, and how it shapes us.
And it leaves you with so many questions. What if music is more than just sound? What if it's like a language that connects us to something bigger?
This deep dive has definitely changed how I think about music.
And maybe, just maybe, it's made you want to listen a little closer to the music around you, to really explore it.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the music of the spheres.
And until next time, keep listening, keep those minds open, and remember, the music is always there, waiting.